Goat monkey like Fritos. Goat monkey like Tab and Mountain Dew. Goat monkey, very simple man with big warm fuzzy secret heart. Goat monkey like you. Goat monkey like you.
Well, that went about as well as expected. Hey. Everyone's dead. Two things. One, I don't remember any of this from the book. I genuinely don't. And two, I don't recognize who this character is. That's probably not a good thing. Is she Johanna? Well, Haymitch is still Haymitch, and he's still actually an awesome character. He's that very blunt, down-to-earth character that it hurts to be, but we all have to be sometimes. So far, the movie's interesting, at least. I'll give it that. So guys, I'm sorry about being so quiet for the past while. I just haven't really had anything to talk about. The movie's good. Like, it is a good movie so far. It's pretty different from the book, though, in and of itself. But I will say this: the movie is beautiful. I can't tell if like some of these hovercraft things, I can tell when they're flying that they're CG, but I genuinely can't tell when they're on the ground if they're real or not. That is how a good movie is made. Most likely they're CG, but still, they look amazing, and all the sets look amazing, the costuming. This movie's really good so far, and I hope it just gets better from here. And considering the fact that we still have like an hour and 20 minutes left. No, more like an hour and 40 minutes? I don't know. So the Capitol has now set up essentially Jigsaw-style traps. I remember in the book very clearly that these pods were just landmines. Or at least that's what I remember. Maybe I'm wrong on that. Anyhow, we just saw one of these go off, and it was walls of flamethrowers followed by a truck exploding. Cool. Jigsaw, take notes. So this movie's kind of running into the same problem I had with the first Mockingjay, or at least part 1. It has a great story to tell, but it's just kind of going nowhere. Oh, snap! Oh, snap. Okay, I take it back. Jeez. Man, this guy does... Right, okay, I just remembered this part, in the story, yeah. Boggs just got his legs blown off.
Don't trust them.
Jeez.
Kill Peter if you have to. Do what you came to do.
And he's dead. That sucks. That really sucks. He was a good character. Well, that's one way of dealing with some people who have you pinned down. Just blow him up with a rocket launcher. I guess the Capitol took lessons on overkill from the Punisher. So I gotta give the movie this. It's actually building some tension. I'm genuinely surprised by that. Like, genuine tension. So, not a lot's happened in the past little bit. But frankly, sorry, I was just shaking my lighter up. I got some dragon's blood. Just lit it up. And that's not weed. Let me show you what I mean. This stuff. Great stuff. Smells amazing. Actually, it just makes the room feel nice. Anyhow, not a whole lot's happened, and to be honest, I'm kind of getting bored. But if I remember what happened in the book, this is where a lot of people die. Granted, a lot of people have died by this point in the book, and there's been barely anyone die in the movie. Come to think of it, are they even really attacking the Capitol? It seemed a lot more like they're just kind of casually walking through it, occasionally running from machine guns or fire. Still, better than nothing, I'll give her that. Okay, so not only has the movie incredibly picked up, we've seen the mutts, the mutation things. Thanks, it's not like I wanted to sleep for the next week or so. And it's not like I'm gonna keep pissing my pants every time I have nightmares of these things. Thanks, guys! I totally didn't need this image burned into my brain for the rest of my life. These things are scary. Oh, this doesn't look good. For Finnick, I think? Is that Finnick? I can't tell. Alright, you guys, I think this is going to be where the movie kind of had another one of its slow moments, but I think it's about to really pick up again. I love all the details they're trying to copy from the book, like all the little references, all the attentions to details, just the absurdity of the Capitol. It's great, actually. But I'm really curious where it's going to go from here. Because I know how the book ends. And, wow, that guy looks like Lucio from Overwatch. That's awesome. But what I'm curious about is, how are they going to end the movie? Because the ending of the book was pretty depressing, actually. I'm not going to spoil why, but just going to say it is. And you probably should know by now. And I'm curious, because this movie's only rated PG for some reason. Are they going to go the route of the movie, or the book? Or are they, like many other times, going to change it, well, like what they've done with most of this movie, change most of the book to a more adapted version of the ending? Alright, so we've gone from the Hunger Games to No Russians from Modern Warfare 2. I called it. The movie was gonna get awesome here. They're going with the way of the book as of right now, and I'm curious how far they're gonna go with that. Okay, that was the cool effect. But yeah, as of right now, they really are just kind of going, let's just kill everyone. Well, the rebels are attacking and all that, yada yada yada. Whatever. I was right though. Son of a bitch. They actually went there. They just massacred a whole group of children. Wow. That was dark. Yeah, PG. Contains an entire scene of children getting completely slaughtered. And, PG. Good going, MPAA. Or at least the Canadian Film Rating Boards. Yeah, I really don't get how this works. Oh! Wow, they just made that even worse. They just blew Prim up. Wow, they actually did. Oh my gosh, wow. I thought that she died in the first explosion. I thought they weren't gonna show that. Jeez. Huh. That's depressing. I should probably turn off the camera now.
Hey, I need you to lie back. You're okay.
Well, that was Mockingjay Part 2. I was kind of hoping for more. Let's talk about the movie. This movie shouldn't have been a two-parter. I'm just gonna get that right out of the way. This movie should not have been two parts. In fact, I'm getting really annoyed when Hollywood feels the need to stretch movies out over two parts. This book, like the book this was based on, you can make the entire thing in one movie in 2.5 hours. That's why it didn't work. You had the story to tell, and even then you wouldn't tell the entire story, and then to make that worse, you just have a ton of padding. You take all the padding scenes, which either were important character development in the book or trying to establish something, and you put it in the movie, but you don't have the important establishy thing or the character development. So you're left with just the filler. This movie's kind of boring. It has the same problem as the first Mockingjay. It's got great ideas I want to see made into a good movie. It's got great actors, great effects, great pretty much everything. But when it comes down to the story, it doesn't know what it wants to do. And that really sucks, because it should have been an amazing story. You guys, Mockingjay is probably my favorite out of the 3 books. Just because it's such a big, epic finale to what is one of the greatest trilogies I've ever read. I love the Hunger Games books. I loved the first 2 movies. This is better than Part 1, but Part 1, it's not hard to beat Part 1 because nothing really happened in Part 1. Let me try and explain. So it takes us nearly an hour before we get into the capital, and even then, there is we literally don't get any of the capital fighting, the peacekeepers and all that, or the rebels fighting, until literally the last act. And even then, that scene lasts maybe 8 minutes, and then they go and firebomb a bunch of children. Sorry. I will give them points, though, for that. And this is going to sound really weird. When I read that part in Mockingjay where they just slaughter a whole bunch of children, I was genuinely shocked by it. I was left thinking, can you even do that? Because Mockingjay at the time was the most mature book I had ever read. I was genuinely left thinking, how can you get away with that in a book or movie? How can you get away with it? It didn't seem right. And this movie is rated PG. I want you guys to look real close. Hang on. There. PG. For violence and frightening scenes. They firebomb children in this movie, and this thing's rated PG. Positive, though, for the movie, the characters are still good. But then again, they're the same characters we've been following for the past 3 movies. So they're not going to change. The only one who has changed is Peter, and he's just kind of become a sociopath because of what the Capitol did to him. In the books, that was handled over several very important key plot points, which would show his struggle to be human while also not giving in to what the Capitol made him. In this, he's just kind of a psychopath every now and then you know what? He's fine. Seriously, that's kind of what happens. It's kind of annoying. Sorry. What else was there? You know, it's not a good sign for your movie when I just finished watching it and it's over 2 hours and I can barely even remember half the things I wanted to talk about because I was just kind of that bored by it. Man, just give me a second. I'm trying to... So I talked about... Oh, yeah. I will give them credit, though. They did some cool adaptations. And the weird thing is, this was adapted by Suzanne Collins, the woman who wrote the books, which I find kind of strange. When I read the books, though, whenever they talked about mutts or mutations, I always thought they were going to be like dogs. In this, they're like that thing from Pan's Labyrinth with the eyes on the hand. You know what I mean? That very famous creepy monster? They're like that. They're like these slimy, human-like monsters that run around on all fours, but they have no eyes, no ears, no nose, just a mouth, and they just tear people apart. Yeah, it's kind of scary, actually. I'll give them credit. It actually was a good effect. See, but I think another reason why this movie does so bad is because, like I mentioned before, there's a lot of padding, and those padding scenes worked in the book because they were giving the characters time to talk and reflect on what they've done and why they're here, and what's brought them to this, and what are they really willing to give up. With this, it's just, okay, we're just kind of sitting around now waiting for something to come up and try and kill us. Oh no, something's trying to kill us. Everybody panic and run. Seriously, that's kind of what happens. Granted, it's not like, oh, we're just going to stand around and do nothing for the entirety of the movie like part 1. They actually try and do stuff in this movie, but it still goes nowhere fast. However, the acting is at least pretty good. Most of the actors in this movie, like Jennifer Lawrence, Josh Hutcherson, Woody Harrelson, Elizabeth Banks, Liam Hemsworth, Philip Seymour Hoffman, the late great Philip Seymour Hoffman. Man, I'm going to miss that guy. They do a good job. And the actors are doing their best, but then again, sometimes they almost seem bored with the movie, and I can't blame them. Effects? Effects are great. That's probably the best part of the entire movie. The special effects, the makeup, the CG, the practical effects, it all looks awesome. And I can't fault them for that. Music? I don't remember anything. Camera work's fine, lighting is fine. When it comes down to it, can I recommend Mockingjay, Part 2? Not really, but kind of. If you've seen the first 3, you kind of have to see Part 2 just to finish it. If you have only seen the first 2 Hunger Games movies, just stop. Mockingjay ain't worth your time. If you've never seen any of them, go watch the first 2, but then watch this one. Frankly, I can only really give it 2 raptor claws out of 4. It has good ideas, good things in it, good things going for it, but in the end, it ultimately has nothing that's special. 2 movies down, 2 more to go. And out of the 2 I have left, 1 I'm looking forward to, 1 I am not. But until next time, you guys, keep cool, because I'm the Meteor Raptor, and I'll see all you dino dudes around. Later.